Hey guys, this is Kevin from Group 7. We are going to be presenting our various dashboards that are used to analyze this data set from Kaggle on heart disease. To give you guys a little bit of background, Brandon is a former credit analyst, and I, Kevin, am a supply chain analyst. Calvin is a digital marketing consultant, and Sharon is a director at a pharmacy. We decided to choose this data set because we felt like it intersected with all of our careers. In this video, we'll go over a little bit about what heart disease really is. We'll go over a data file, how we clean the data, a scatter plot dashboard, a geographical heat map dashboard, and also correlations between demographics and health factors, and finally a conclusion.
Hi, my name is Sharon Yep, and I'll be going over the introduction of heart disease. According to the CDC, cardiovascular disease is a term for all types of diseases that affect the heart or blood vessels. Heart disease is a type of cardiovascular disease. The most common type of heart disease is coronary heart disease, which occurs when plaque builds in the arteries. The leading cause of death for men, women, and people of most racial and ethnic groups. In 2022, 702,880 people died from heart disease, which is equivalent of 1 in every 5 deaths. From 2019 to 2022, the cost of heart disease was about $252.2 billion. This includes the cost of healthcare services, medicine, and loss of productivity due to death. Risk factors include lifestyle choices and medical conditions that put at a higher risk. For the data file, the data set was selected for Kaggle is from the Center from the Disease Central, CDC, with 246,000 samples, and any non-NAs are pre-cleaned from the set. Indicators of heart disease, 2022 update. There are 2 data files on the page, and we selected the one without the NAs, which had 246,000 rows. The data set had 40 indicators. General health demographics such as age, gender, race, height, weight, sleep, health, and time since last checkup. Disease and health-related variables, which included yes or no's of specific diseases, smoking status, alcohol usage. For the data cleaning, we merged the original 4 variables into 26 variables under the following: cardiovascular risk factors, heart attacks, stroke, angina was merged into this category. For under comorbidities, asthma, skin cancer, disease, kidney disease, COPD, arthritis, skin cancer, and diabetes was grouped into comorbidities. Under mental disorders, difficulty concentration, and depression. Under disabilities, deaf, hard of hearing, blind, vision difficulties. Under daily living challenges, difficulty walking, bedding, dressing, and errands. Lastly, vaccinated category was merged with flu, pneumococcal, and the tetanus. I'll be talking about the lifestyle factors and health outcomes scatter plot. This visualization shows spotting patterns and potential correlations between lifestyle factors and health outcomes across different demographics. Such risk factors are yes or no's, such as health disease incidence, comorbidities, smoker, e-smoker users, alcohol drinkers, BMI, and weight. Both of these measures are given as sums, properly representing aggregates, values, and groups. So distributions of health attributes across ethnic groups, and different colors represents different ethnic groups: Black, Hispanic, multiracial, other, and white. The use of the color in the dots, the green and the blue mainly, may indicate that the proportionality or the concentration of these attributes within that group. And the correlations, the cluster of the dots at certain intervals along the BMI and weight scales, suggesting that certain lifestyle habits might be more common in groups with specific BMI and weight ranges. The incidence of heart disease and comorbidities and correlations with smoking, e-cigarettes use, and alcohol consumption can be analyzed to see if their lifestyle choices are at risk factors for listed health conditions. So the visualization here, each row represents a combination of the yes and no conditions of health and lifestyle attributes. And the spread of the dots along the BMI and weight scale could be used to infer prevalence of these attributes in different BMI and weight categories. In this slide, this visualization provides a detailed overview of how these factors correlate with age and health conditions. The data organization, each row represents a specific age category ranging from 18 to 80 or older. Columns are segmented into groups of individual based on their health conditions, with or without comorbidities and health disease, and related metrics, BMI, sleep hours, and weight. For the visual indicators, the red circles represents age groups without heart disease and green circles representing those with heart disease. The size of each circle correlates with the numeric value presented, showing the prevalence of or measurements of factors, example, total BMI, sleep hours, and weight. The correlation, the health disease and age, the incidence of heart disease increases with age, as evident by larger green circles in older age categories. The BMI distribution, the BMI value tends to increase as age categories increase until a certain point, then slightly decrease or stabilizes in the older age groups. Sleep hours, the sleep hours appear to follow a reverse trend where younger age groups have fewer sleep hours, which then increase with age, possibly peaking in middle age and slightly decreasing or stabilizing in older age groups. With the weight trends, the weight increases with age, peaking around middle age, 55 to 59 or 60 to 64, and then showing a tendency to stabilize or slightly decrease in the oldest age groups. Potential health correlations, higher BMI values in older age groups with heart disease suggest a correlation between increased BMI and the presence of heart disease, particularly visible in the green circles corresponding to those with age disease. Sleep hours don't display a straightforward correlation with either heart disease or BMI, but do show variations that could be linked to lifestyle or health changes, of course, across age groups. The age group 80 or older often shows a stabilization or a decrease in all metrics, BMI, sleep hours, weight, which could be due to the several factors including lifestyle changes, health conditions, or mortality bias affecting the oldest cohort.
Hi everyone, this is Calvin. Let's examine the patterns that we've discovered using our choropleth map. The map reveals distinct geographic trends, with Arkansas, West Virginia, and Florida leading in heart disease rates with rates of 7.5% or greater. There's a clear north-south gradient with northern states averaging 4 to 5% and higher rates in the south. Western coastal states maintain a moderate rate of 4%. Next, let's take a look at demographic patterns. On the right-hand side, you can see populations broken down by ethnic groups and whether they smoke or drink. Let's start by taking a look at the smoking status breakdown. Men that smoke are much more likely to experience heart disease, and For smokers, multiracial non-Hispanic individuals show the highest disparity, with 12.55% for males versus 7.58% for females. And in white non-Hispanic populations, 10.25% for males and 6.02% for females. Next, let's move to alcohol usage. Interestingly, alcohol usage patterns suggest a negative correlation with heart disease. Those that do not drink alcohol have a higher chance of having heart disease. In white non-Hispanic and multiracial non-Hispanic males, these heart disease rates lead at 10.89% and 10.66% respectively. Both these ethnic groups have a similar disparity between genders, with white non-Hispanic females at 5.88% and multiracial non-Hispanic females at 6.56%. The Black non-Hispanic population shows the most balanced rates between sexes for those that abstain from alcohol usage, whereas the Hispanic population shows the most balanced rates for heart disease if alcohol is consumed. For patients that do not consume alcohol or smoke, we can see that the heart disease rates decrease in younger age groups of both sexes, but a rise in older age groups of males. For patients that do not consume alcohol or smoke, we can see that the heart disease rates decrease in younger age groups of both sexes, but there is a rise in the heart disease rates for the older age groups of males. For smokers and patients that both smoke and drink, we can see a drastic shift in the age groups where heart disease rates peak. The shift is much more drastic for patients that both smoke and drink, suggesting that while smoking is much more impactful to cardiovascular health, drinking on top of smoking is likely to make things worse. When looking at the physical activity filter, you can see from all visualizations that the lack of exercise increases heart disease rates across the board. This is also true when combined with the lifestyle filter of smoking and drinking. By sleeping the recommended sleep range of 7 to 9% recommended by the National Sleep Foundation in the US and the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, we can see that there is also a decrease in heart disease rates, although the impact is not as great as being physically active. Regarding health status, we can see that patients with daily living challenges and mental disabilities have the highest risk of heart disease when compared to the other health statuses.
Hello, everybody. I'm Brandon, and I will be showing you our group's next dashboard. This dashboard shows the correlation between heart disease and poor physical health days related to heart disease, as well as poor mental health days related to heart disease. So to start with this bar chart, the bar chart shows all the various age categories, which also includes all the races and ethnicities, and we'll toggle that back to all for now. and both sexes. A quick note that this dashboard, we decided to focus on men specifically because when looking at the prevalence of heart disease among men and women, men were twice as likely to have heart disease, roughly. So we're going to keep that on male from here on out. So real quick rundown on the specifics. Yellow indicates no heart disease. Red indicates um, they do have heart disease. And as you can see, there's a significant trend as you get older. Heart disease becomes significantly more prevalent as you age. So let's go over to um, all right. So we decided to add all of the filters from age, sex, and race and ethnicity in case anybody was curious about the specific different races and ethnicities, different age groups, and obviously you can still toggle between male and female. So if you're curious about that, you can check that out too. Um, I guess to show a quick example, if you're 80 plus, this is for men. They were showing 18.9% of them had heart disease, and 81.1% of them didn't. And so you can easily tell the trend here. Now, let's go over to our next slide. So this is so people were asked on how many days per month do they experience a poor physical health day? And this could be like an injury, could be sickness, etc. So on average, oh, I'll explain this line real quick. This is the average poor physical health days for men of the all of the categories. And as you can see, the average is lower for a lower age and increases with age, kind of to be expected. Um, Now this line is basically shows the same percentages that the bar chart shows. As you can see, 18.9% for 80, 18.9% for 80. To create this heart disease percentage on this double axis line graph, we created a calculated field called heart disease percentage. I'll pop that open real quick. We can see how we calculated it. So we needed to turn our heart disease field into a binary field. And so we summed them all up. If it was yes, then it was one. If not, zero. And then we divided by the count of heart disease to get the number, and then we turned it into a percentage. So it basically mimics the bar chart. So as you can see, there's a clear correlation between uh, uh, age and poor physical health days increasing along with heart disease. Um, Kind of to be expected, right? Move on to the next one, which is uh, men's average poor mental health days per month. Now we have the same health disease percentage as one of our line graphs, as well as average poor mental health days. So here you can see the younger the age group, the more poor mental health days were reported. And it seems like as as you uh, as you get older, you have less poor mental health days. I think an insight to be made, even though it's not related to heart disease, is maybe social media and stuff causing poor mental health among the younger generation. But here we can see uh, a clear negative correlation between poor mental health days and the heart disease percentage lines. All right. And we'll go over to the dashboard real quick, just to see the overall appearance of the dashboard again. So yeah, we kept the bar chart on top just because this was basically our main point where we derived that we wanted to exclusively focus on men because they're twice heart disease is twice as prevalent among men than women. And below that, we put our two double axis line graphs. Now we did add a filter action, which we can open it up right here, which allows us to just select on one of these categories. So if you're interested in a certain age group and you want to, just see real quick what their uh, poor physical health days were or their poor mental health days were, it'll show you that uh, like that. So, um, all right. And that is pretty much it for this dashboard. Thank you for listening.
In conclusion, the analysis for our dashboards reveals that there are complex interactions between geographic, demographic, and lifestyle factors in determining the risk of heart disease. We found that physical activity and smoking emerges as the most primary modifiable risk factors, while sleep patterns and alcohol consumption show more nuanced relationships with heart disease risk. And our findings show that there can be targeted interventions that consider regional and demographic variations, as we found that there are mostly high-risk populations located in the southeastern United States, and there are certain demographic groups that show elevated risk factors when it comes to heart disease. And that concludes Group 7's video. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and hope you guys learned something. See you guys around.